Praise God once again. Praise God once again. This is the Royal Priest, and today is 31st of March 2026. The reason why I'm going to be stating the dates and also writing the dates up here is because my prophecies are always dated. That means by the time I release a prophecy, it has a date, and the day when it happens, it's also a particular date. So today I want to welcome you who have followed me and subscribed to my channels and followed me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So today I want to tell you that I don't only prophesy to men of God in the country, like you've seen what has been happening all over the social media. Men of God wanted to be arrested, others are in court, others are fabricating things against others. You've been seeing all the chaos concerning the prophecies I gave, meaning to say that what I'm going to say now is based on now what we call the natural experience. But before I go any further, I want you to understand that I also prophesy in the political corridors. And now I want to tell you something that is very important. Why? Because Apostle Paul wrote in the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4 that now the Spirit speaketh expressly. The Spirit speaketh expressly. Why? Because the Spirit of God is always speaking. It's only that we need people with antennas like me who can listen to what the Spirit is saying and tell you. That's why I told you this year is the ways of the Spirit, and that's what I expect throughout the year. So in this prophecy of today, I'm going to go political a bit, then I'll explain to you what I'm trying to say. I was carried by the chariots of fire, and the chariots of fire took me to the future of the political corridors of the country, especially when it comes to high-ranking places in the political corridors, high-ranking places in the political area. I was taken to, remember previously, if you go to my Instagram, you understand that the current Speaker of Parliament, Anita, I prophesied about her becoming the Speaker of Parliament. If you look on my prophecy, I'll also put the updates here, but I'll also refer you to my Instagram. I prophesied that she's going to be the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda. That's 11th Parliament. And I also said I saw her in a high position, which is the third position in the country. That was Chief Justice Doro, Speaker of Parliament, which is Anita Among. Then I saw the President. Those are the three high positions in the country. Now, today, I want to say that congratulations, Anita Among, concerning your term that you have served as a Speaker of Parliament. But, you know, as a prophet, I prophesied, but I did not see anything coming to me through your office. So I hope that you sit down with your office and discuss this matter, because I can also put you back in this coming term. I can put you back in that office. That's what I do. I was anointed specifically to put political leaders and even to remove some by God. So before I go any further, I hope you look into that. Then we see how we can reassign you back to your position. But before I even talk about reassignment, I was carried by the chariots of fire into the future, and I began to look through the corridors of power. As I was seated in the Spirit, I began to observe the movements of things in the country politically. As I was seeing, I viewed and I saw a fountain of water flowing, a fountain of water flowing. You know water flowing? A fountain of water, fresh water flowing, and I heard the sound of water. Suddenly, I saw a man who was very far from the fountain, and he was called near the fountain. So by the time he reached at the fountain where I was seeing from, I noticed that I was seeing a man whom I knew. And guess what I saw? I saw Norbert. And the Lord told me, I'm bringing him closer to the fountain of honor, not the fountain of water now. So, congratulations, Norbert Mao, concerning the matter that you've decided to take forth to the country to lead in the position of the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda. And
this information.
DP Party President Norbert Mao is asking the NRM Chairman, President Yoweri Museveni, to allow him attend the NRM Parliamentary Caucus in the spirit of the DP and NRM cooperation.
I have even requested that I would like to speak to the caucus and even attend a retreat in Chankwanzi. Now, the caginess is exposing some of the short-sightedness which is residing in some of the NRM leaders. So I do believe that if we are to go forward, we need an honest conversation. And of course, I expect that we shall have that conversation with the President of Uganda, who is the national chairman of the NRM.
Yo, you're the boss man. The boss man himself.
Vice President, the next Vice President.
Vice President Adako. Vice President Adako Mulaba. Ambassador of the money. The King Kong. Katumuem kagapu. Katumuem kagapu wanange.
First time going to Chimpanzee as a minister and also a member of parliament. This time. What are your expectations in the liberation for the police?
If the members of the 12th Parliament knew how important they were, they would take their responsibilities very seriously. Have you ever heard the person who said that if the crested crane knew how valuable it was, it would not live in a wetland? That is my challenge to the 12th Parliament. You see, the crested crane doesn't know that it is really so valued. So, if the crested crane knew it would be living in State House, nobody would chase it. It would be parked in Parliament. It would be in the Supreme Court. But because it is not aware, so this retreat to me is about a new consciousness among the members of Parliament, that beyond being elected as members of Parliament, they are the ones who are going to design the future of Uganda. In other words, they are going to play the role of a midwife. See, a midwife is very important. A midwife brings new life. And that's a sacred responsibility. So my expectation is that that sacred responsibility will become clear to the members of Parliament.
Different political parties, but the cooperation does not mean that if we are cooperating, you come up to my bedroom. Okay? You remain in the compound. You don't come up to the bedroom. And I am saying, you don't come to the bedroom. The bedroom this time around is the speakership. You cannot cooperate to the tune of the speakership. So in that case,